You know, I'm going to try to be optimistic here, but I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I'm not too happy. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Dynasty back with a quick MultiVersus update because we got our first MultiVersus patch with this build of the game this morning. And there's been a lot of people praising player first games. Now, when it comes to actual gameplay changes, a lot of players got buffed and nerfed on the roster. As far as I know, Iron Giant is still missing, and there isn't a release date on when he's coming back. So that's unfortunate. But I think the big thing to take from today's balance patch update is that they're now rewarding you with some XP if you finish a PvP match, which goes towards unlocking progress in your battle pass, which is awesome because if you're like me, you want the Uber Jason skin, right? And that's like the last unlock on this battle pass for this current season of MultiVersus. And everybody's happy because now when you play PvP, win or lose, you're getting XP. That's a good thing, right? Well, hypothetically, until you find out that you're getting 10 XP for every win and only 5 XP for every loss. So if you do the math, according to the mathematicians online, it would take you 200 matches per level, aka 10 hours per level, more or less. That's what's being used to determine how long it takes after the new XP patch. Woo! So yeah, that's the state of MultiVersus. I've not played since the actual patch, so don't know if it's going to fix all my screen tearing and frame rate drops on the Xbox version, but regardless, let's talk about the patch. If you're excited to hear me dive into this, drop a like, or if because you miss me and you feel for me as a fan of this game who keeps seeing it get worse and worse. I'm going to get crucified for saying I'm not happy, but you know, whatever. I'm gonna keep it real. I think it's bullshit, but let's get into it. Now, this was the tweet that was making rounds earlier today from the official MultiVersus socials. It said, "Great news, MultiVersus players. We've made a quick change for our players. Starting now, Battle Pass XP will be granted after each PvP match in addition to events and missions. The race for Uber Jason continues." And again, this was something that everybody was wanting to see day one because it's been a grind to get through this battle pass. Having just to do, you know, rely on challenges and things of that sort, it's not really appealing to even play because you're making no progress. It's really a slow grind. But now it's like, oh, cool, we're getting XP. And if you just look at most of the responses, everybody's excited until they're not. 10 XP, laugh my ass off. You might as well not have changed anything at that point. Then after that, they followed with this right here, hot off the presses, patch notes for this morning. We'll be letting players back in shortly. I think the servers were down for like 2 hours while they were distributing the patch update, but let's dive into the patch notes. And really, I've been using a lot of Banana Guard lately, and it kind of pains because he got nerfed. The cool thing about player first games, at least, is unlike Mortal Kombat 1 and NetherRealm, they actually explain a lot of the changes they made, which is kind of cool. I like that, but here we go. First ever patch after launch, 1.01 patch notes by player first games from today. We wanted to take a moment to thank you all for the helpful feedback on Reddit, Discord, and our other social channels. We're diligently consuming all your suggestions, and we will be making a number of changes based on the info we've gathered following launch. Before we dive into various fixes and improvements coming in this patch, we wanted to mention that Iron Giant has been taken back to the shop for maintenance and is not available to play right now. We should have a status update by next week. I feel like they set this last week. We're also planning to address several highly requested changes soon, such as the additional performance improvements, end of game stats, option to turn off team colors, and the ability to swap side and neutral attack, and the addition of adjustable input buffer settings. We'll keep you posted on timing. I think this was actually an option in the beta. Let's dive in and see what's new in the patch. So your general changes here. Lowered hit pause on all hits by 10% in 1v1 modes. Players can now try all fighters in training mode, including fighters they do not own. Now, this is something that should have never been changed because back in the beta for a year, before you purchase these characters, before you sacrifice all your rewards, your grind, you got a chance to use these characters. And for the first week at MultiVersus right here, you couldn't. So gotta give credit where credit's due. They listened to the feedback. That's one thing that was needed 100% because you shouldn't be forced to actually buy a character to know if you even like their playstyle. So thank you, Player First Games, for at least doing this. Battle Pass XP now granted after each PvP match in addition to events and missions. Again, this is initially the only way to actually progress through your Battle Pass, but now you're getting 10 if you win and 5 if you lose. And it's kind of funny how they don't mention that in the actual patch notes, right? Why aren't they saying that with their chest out, like, we're giving you 10 XP if you win and 5 if you... Why do I have to go into the game myself and see? Oh, it's because you're probably ashamed. Because you're ashamed it's still a grind, maybe. And everybody's, like, praising this like it's such a drastic change. It's really not. Okay. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue where players could not complete daily rewards in Rift mode. Fixed an issue that was impacting performance on the Xbox. Okay. This is good because I've been miserable the last week. Fixed an issue where beam visual effects were occasionally invisible on PlayStation consoles. Fixed an issue where certain keyboard configurations would cause phantom inputs in matches. Fixed an issue with pause input conflicts in training. Now, then we get the character buffs and nerfs, and it's essentially the entire roster. So if you're down to listen to me, get some popcorn and some water. So here we go. Here's the legend, buff, nerf, change, bug fix. Kicking things off, Araya dash attack, reduced input buffer window for follow-up attacks. Banana Guard, you see what I mentioned? They have like a little synopsis explaining the reasoning behind it. I like this. NetherRealm, take a page out of Player First Games' book here. The goal of this change is to reduce the extreme kill power on Banana Guard's side specials and bring it more in line with the damage of the rest of the cast. The moves affected are the aerial side special, reduced damage to 10 from 12, and the ground side special, reduced damage to 12 from 14. 2 points isn't too severe. It is what it is. Bugs Bunny, neutral special, fixed an issue causing the safe to hit repeatedly and rapidly in succession. Garnet, down special, fixed an issue where Garnet and an enemy could be frozen at the end of her star grab. Gizmo, up special, ally attached cooldown now begins when Gizmo detaches from his ally instead of beginning when Gizmo attaches to his ally. As for the Iron Giant, who is still missing, the goal of these changes is to prevent Iron Giant from chaining certain sets of attacks infinitely. While these fixes address some of the issues on Iron Giant, it will require additional fixes to bring Iron Giant fully back online. Iron Giant will remain down for repairs until those fixes are implemented in a future patch. QA testing, what were you doing? Ground down attack, knockback angle is now more horizontal. Aerial neutral attack, final hit now always knocks away regardless of charge. Ground side special, the jab first hitbox is slightly smaller. Rage mode, pilot special, reduced strobing visual effects. And lastly, Rage mode up special, reduce the final hit damage to 5 from 6. So we'll see how this works once he is back and available for us to use. Now we have Jake, the aerial ground up special. Fix some issue with game performance. Again, a lot of these are just like bug fixes to be expected. Jason, ground down special. Fixed an issue where one player would disappear when Jason grabbed 2 players with the sleeping bag. Thankfully, I never encountered that. LeBron, basketball. Basketball can now only hit 1 time per target. That's gonna piss off a lot of LeBron mains. Marvin, the aerial ground neutral attack. Fixed an issue where Marvin could ring out opponents instantly due to a side special projectile interaction with neutral attack. Getting to the halfway point of these buffs and nerfs and bug fixes, we have Rain Dog, aerial side attack. The knockback angle is now more horizontal. Aerial up attack, knockback angle is now more horizontal. So not that drastic. Then we have Shaggy. The goal of this change is to not allow neutral air attack to combo back into the jab combo at all damage levels. There are feel issues introduced with this change that we will address in the next patch. As a Shaggy main, see how this goes. Aerial neutral air base knockback increased to 17 from 13 hundo. Knockback scaling increased to 14 from 13. Knockback angle is more horizontal. On hit cancel window delayed by 10 frames. Then we have Steven. Aerial up attack. Sweet spot hitbox delayed 1 frame later to match when Steven has his hands clapped together. And the aerial down attack on hit cancel window delayed by 3 frames. Then we have Stripe. Aerial down attack for Stripe. More downward momentum is maintained on attack startup. As for Taz's aerial ground side special increased damage on non-cooldown tornado final hit to 8 from 7. I've been using Taz lately. That's cool. Wonder Woman's lasso was a bit too oppressive to play against without any limiter, so we decided to add a short cooldown to the ability. Aerial/ground neutral special added an 8-second cooldown for the lasso. Again, I'll have all these patch notes linked down below if you want to check this out yourself, but it's everything in a nutshell. Now again, in regards to the free XP we're getting if you're playing PvP matches, this is the front page of the MultiVersus Reddit. Battle Pass XP per game is way too low. 10 XP per win, 5 per loss is seriously way too low. Just to get up to tier 1 is like 2,000 XP. And again, if you look at the response here, it seems like everybody agrees. I like to see Battle Pass missions improved. The really specific ones like get 4 bottom screen knockdowns with a tank character aren't fun at all. Should at least drop the character type from it. Honestly, they might be a bit too precise because I could survive with my rifts not being fully starred out because I don't have any friends, but when it comes to actual dailies and things of that sort dedicated to like the Battle Pass XP, that's kind of annoying to have to go completely out of your way to get any type of progress on the Battle Pass assignments. I agree with Mr. Soups on here. They should make sure the franchise is available in free rotation since the cost to unlock characters is so high. The whole thing just feels so bad. We gotta just keep complaining. I would have been happy with 50 XP to be honest, but 200 games for 1 level is crazy. 200 games for 1 level. And I think that's if you win. Yeah, it's if you win. Yeah, this is why people were arguing against it before, because if the game started with this daily and weeklies, it would give a lot less as well. Player first games would make it extremely grindly. The sub loves to misinterpret. I don't want the game to be just as or more grindy as the last Battle Pass in the beta, as I hate free Battle Pass XP. Hope it gets buffed, but it likely won't because Player First Games is going to be stubborn with their original plan of forcing you to log in every day. They just said this just so they could say they listened. And honestly, I'm not there in the studio. I don't know anybody personally there, but I would put more of the blame on the publisher who made them even release this game too soon, given the issues we've been having and the lack of stuff, but features missing. This just seems like a typical WB move. It really does. Pat us on the back, 10 XP, 5 if you... It just doesn't really make much of a difference. It's definitely too low, but 100 for Ws and 50 for Ls seems like an overcorrection. I'd say 40-20 or 50-25 would be reasonable considering most matches only last about 2 to 3 minutes. And honestly, 50-25 would probably be that perfect spot. I think that comment pretty much narrows it down. If you do too much, you're going to ruin the whole Battle Pass grind, which they're clearly wanting us to do. I think 50-25 is the perfect sweet spot. Now, this is an interesting comment here. It says, this is what this game is. They want you to come back every single day to get the most of your XP from missions and events. Some of the missions give you 150 XP for completion. They're not going to give you 100 XP per win. Never going to happen. This is what their model is. If you don't like it, you might as well just drop the game now. They're sending a clear message. Pretty much. They want you to come back for the missions and events, and making it 50 to 100 means they would completely invalidate the missions. There simply is a limit pretty much to how you can advance the Battle Pass each week. And again, you got to find that sweet spot. You can't overcorrect this Player First Games, but also you can't laugh at us on the low and be like, see, we're listening, you get 10 XP per match. 50-25 might even be too OP, but I think, at least for now, that would give you an incentive. Hell, do like an XP weekend, double XP, triple XP. Find ways to implement us to just actually focus on playing the game versus going out of our way to do these weird different challenges to even make any progress to get the likes of like an Uber Jason. You gotta find that sweet spot and that incentive without making it too grindy, because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It kind of does feel like a chore to do these dailies and these weeklies. It really does. So I have faith. I'm being optimistic. I know this is a WB published game. I know we've already seen WB force them to release this game without it being completely finished and rounded out, but I'm not giving up hope yet. Iron Giant being broken is unfortunate, but shit happens. That is clearly shit happening. But the Reddit's upset. They say they read the Reddit. The Reddit's pissed. Twitter's pissed. Initially, everybody was stoked, and then they saw it was 10 and 5 XP, and then that just... So, that's the state of MultiVersus. I'm just the guy here giving my opinion. I don't work in the industry, but I do say that 10 and 5 is just ridiculous. It's got to be more than that to give us an incentive to actually want to play things like PvP. At this rate, you're still spending hours and 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 hours. 10 hours for one level, 200 matches? Come on. That's ridiculous. Anyways, what do you all think of this? What is your solution? Do you have any actual constructive criticism? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, though, do your boy a solid. It takes you a second. Drop a like on it, of course. Subscribe for some more MultiVersus content like this on the channel. Till next time, I've been your host, Dynasty. Guys, please take care. Stay safe. Woo! See what happens. Peace.
Living on a crack, but I'm not superstitious. Count all these racks, I be steady counting my digits. Slipping on a crack, I am not superstitious. Counting all these racks, I be steady counting my digits.